Hello and welcome to the studio of the world famous Mermaid Lounge for a special episode of Free Beer with Charlie. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, and I hope that you had a good week and everything's going good. Charlie, how's your week been?
It was a good week. It's just hectic. They just seem to be there anymore. But you know what? It's the weekend.
It's the weekend.
Thank God for Fridays.
And man, have we got some stuff to tell you this time, because we had a great trip. Went down to a little town in Arkansas. You've been to Arkansas before, haven't you?
Yeah.
And this was a good trip. We took down to Subiaco, Arkansas.
Now, if you have ever been to Arkansas, you probably never heard of Subiaco.
Yeah, there's no real reason to go there. Beautiful trip to get there, though. Mountains and trees and elk alongside the road. It was really a pleasant trip.
With all the bad jokes coming out of Arkansas, it is an absolutely gorgeous state. The trip there, I mean, it's worth going for the scenery, the road trip. Fantastic.
But when you get there, there's this like 140-year-old monastery. Huge, like a castle building. And they're doing all kinds of things there. But it's a beautiful place, and you can go there, and you can actually stay there. I mean, you can stay there if you're a monk for good, but if you want to stay there temporarily, they have like 36 units or rooms or something that you can stay. So it doesn't have to be a quick day trip. Yeah. It can be a nice place to go for a while.
And if you just want to get away, I mean, they've got 2,000 plus acres there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Rolling fields, hills. I mean, beautiful, beautiful.
But the reason we went there was...
We heard from a good friend of ours.
Yes. And Brother Dennis, okay? Pastor at...
a local church.
Yes. That made it sound ominous.
Yeah.
Pastor at a local church. Yeah, our good friend Dennis went down with us. He's a pastor at a local church here in our town. And
he'd actually been there once before.
Yes, he had, actually, and he's a good beer enthusiast. And so that's what's happening down at this monastery, is they're making their own beer now. They've actually been doing it for about a year.
Yes.
And they've made, on the side, they've made some beer for their own use, but now they're actually selling it at the monastery.
Yep.
So we went down there to check that out. It was a really good road trip.
Yes, it was. You know what we ought to do?
What's that?
We ought to take our community with us. We ought to go on a road trip.
You guys want to go on a road trip?
Come on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Brother Basil.
Brother Basil,
nice
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pastor Dennis.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate you taking the time out for us to come in and take a look at this.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming down and seeing us. Yeah.
Fantastic. What have you got for us to look at?
Okay, so as monks, we kind of take a vow of poverty, so we're big on reusing things. So this building actually started off as a tractor shed.
Oh, really?
Tractor shed.
Yeah. Our maintenance guys came in and redid everything. We pretty much took it down to the metal frame of the building. But we use it for beer, but we also use it to make our hot sauce with. The habanero hot sauce.
You make that in the same building?
Yeah, well, not at the same time, thankfully. Because when they're cooking it, it's like pepper spray in the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's you're crying and snotting, and it's pretty brutal.
You started out homebrewing in college?
Yeah, I started homebrewing in college about 20 years ago.
At what point did you guys decide to start brewing beer?
Well, we had been, as a good German monastery, we'd probably been brewing beer for 141 or 142 years.
Wow.
But just on a smaller scale, just for the monks to have every once in a while for special events around Christmas and Easter and stuff like that. And we were looking for something else really to get into and
help fund.
Just to help fund and just to help as a ministry, just to bring people in. So, the cattle industry would bring just people in that are looking to buy bulls or whatever, or buy cows, because we had registered Angus, so that way, they would buy some registered cows. And when we decided to get out of that, we wanted something else that would maybe bring people in.
And beer will do that.
And beer will do that, yes, and it has done it fantastically. It has just blown us out of the water, the response we've gotten from the beer.
So how long have you been, I'm sorry, how long have you been producing beer for the public?
For the public, so just a little over a year now. Yeah, so we really started in January of last year, even though we've had our license for a little longer than a year.
But how much can you produce?
Right now, we can do, I would probably say, 150 gallons a week. So that's 5 barrels a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is this the
That's
only
not bad
place that we can buy it?
Yes,
Okay.
right now it's the only place we are selling out on site. So this thing, it's still manually fed, but it automatically purges and fills the cans and seams them. Just pushes it through, and it'll do up to about 30 cans a minute. And we still hand label everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be next then.
Getting a labeler. We talked about it, but also the monastery is big up on manual labor, so it's kind of good for us to have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, so
I was gonna say that.
look at those lids. I guess that's the lids.
Yeah, the lids, and they're actually a little different than your normal beer lid. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a 360
I like
lid.
those, yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
That's neat.
Another reason we decided to go with cans over bottles was recycling. So it's a little more environmentally friendly.
Sure.
Okay, that's a good topic you brought up, because we had this discussion with a brewer out of St. Louis, because my mindset was, if I couldn't drink it out of a keg, I only drank out of bottles. Well, back when I was I shouldn't say when I was a kid, back when I was younger, you drink beer out of a can and you kind of, you get to the bottom, and then talking to this brewer, that's what he said. He said, well, you got to remember, things are upgraded as far as what they
it's not the tin cans anymore.
It's not the nasty old. And so he said the other thing is you got to think about it economically. He said they can produce, more beer faster by doing the cans and recyclable. It's a whole much easier to recycle cans.
And safety. And
that's what he said. I hadn't thought about loss of product during shipping because of glass.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
And 2 people can pick up a pallet of cans because it's about 240 pounds. A pallet of bottles are just. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So really what you have here is 2 brew houses in one. So each set, like this is one set, and then those 2 are another set. We can brew 2 different kinds of beer at a time. So we have a tankless hot water heater that does up to like 185, so we never have to worry about heating water. So we can just put the grain in and put the hot water in and directly let it mash right there.
Wow.
Wow, those are some serious.
How many gallons did you say those were?
So those are 45-gallon kettles. Yeah. So really when we're done, because you don't want to fill it all the way up because they're boiling over. So it'll give us a little over a barrel each. So a barrel's 31 gallons.
Think about the turkeys you could fry.
Right? Yeah. I've had some Cajuns say like, man, we're going to do some boils down here.
So where do you start? I mean, how have you come up with the beers you have on tap today?
So some of them I had before. Like our milk stout was one that I brewed with friends for a long time. We've tweaked it here and there just to make it.
So you kind of came up with a recipe?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And that one's, you got it on tap?
Yeah, that's the one we have on tap. That and our pale ale we have on tap. Yeah.
So what's your lapse in time from when you start to when you can serve it?
So it's about 4 hours between the 2 kettles, and then we'll let it sit for 10 days, and then we'll carbonate it for a day, and then we can can it. So almost about 2 weeks.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
That surprised me. I didn't figure that.
I mean, sometimes, like some of these in here are actually a little older. So that's what, like this one is January 6th. So, it's a little over a month old. But it's a stout, so it's not going to hurt these things to age in the fermenters for a little longer. So there's stout, amber. That one's actually, I'm going to add blueberry to that for the blueberry pale ale. That's a regular pale ale, amber, and an Irish red. Wow. And we went with the plastic fermenters because we knew that we were probably going to upgrade. And these were about $100 each, as compared to stainless steel, the same size, is a little over 1,000,
yeah,
1,200, something like that. And so it was just,
Just kind of temporary.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
And we can use these because we have our own wine cellar that we make for like mass wine and table wine, and we can use these in the wine cellar afterwards. So.
Okay, so that'd be good too then.
Because we have some 50-year-old Jack Daniel's barrels we're using down there right now.
Oh, really?
They're a little rough.
That's very
I mean, we've already had distributors approach us.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's great.
how many monks are actually working with you now?
I'd probably say there's 7 or 8 at least. I mean, maybe up to 10. Like when we're canning, we'll just. So it's like, hey, we need you to come in and put stickers on,
So you're growing your own hops too.
Yes, we grow our own hops. Unfortunately, it's the wrong time of year to see hops. But I do have some that we still have frozen
yeah,
that we can look at.
I
We've
just
been talking
wondered-
with the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, and they are starting a research project on growing hops in Arkansas. And so they've been talking to us about putting maybe a research block here on the grounds.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of those bags you use for a batch.
Kind of depends on what style it is, but this does not go a long ways.
That's what.
Yeah, so I would say probably at least 4 or 5 of these for a batch, if
Yeah.
not more.
And you're talking for a 4
For a 1 barrel, 30 gallons.
So what is this?
So this is a glycol chiller, and it has coil. This lid has coil in it, and so it pumps the cold liquid in, and the cold glycol in, and it chills the beer from the inside out. So that way I don't have to keep these from the inside of the tank. out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Instead of trying to keep it in a walk-in cooler and then pumping it into the canner right here. As we did it.
And they have their own jackets on.
Yeah, this little neoprene.
That's neat.
That
Yeah.
is neat. And that's one thing that's got to be fun for you is the fact that this is your own playground,
Right. Yeah.
and you can experiment, you can add, subtract.
Yes. Yeah.
I want one.
I want
Right, yeah. Let's try it with this, or let's try it. Yeah, I mean, we have some of our own beehives here, and so we had a bunch of leftover honey, and so I was like, oh, let's do a honey week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome.
The tap room.
Yeah.
The favorite spot of the whole
Right.
operation.
What can you tell us about the tap room?
Like as I said, we like to reuse stuff. So this was our old farm office, actually, when we had a cattle farm. And it, like I said, we got out of the farming business and we decided to get into the beer operation. And we're like, well, we probably need to use the building because unfortunately in the monastery, if a building sits empty, it gets filled up pretty quick. We have a few hoarders. So we're like, we got to find a use for this.
So I see there's hot sauce too.
Yes, so we grow our own habaneros here on site. One of the monks that was in Belize brought a bunch of seeds back with him and started our habanero garden. The newest one we smoke them for 24 hours on pecan wood, the peppers, and then we make the smoked habanero hot sauce.
Yeah.
Really good. It's really good. Yeah.
Now, do you distribute this other places?
We do sell that, and we sell it online.
Now, is there anything else you guys make?
Yeah, so we make soap, candles, jelly, peanut butter, peanut brittle, woodworking stuff.
Pickled okra.
Pickled okra, yeah.
So one of the exciting things is about the Abbey is not only do they have a brewery, they open a brew pub.
Yes, very nice.
Now they consider their Amber Abbey basically their flagship beer, and I mean that makes sense, Big Al, because we'd call it middle of the road.
Yeah, a little more neutral.
It's not a stout. It's not real hoppy. And good beer, very good. But Big Al, tell them what our favorite was.
Well, I think the stout is the best. I think even people who don't like stouts as a rule will really like this one.
Yeah, I was so impressed with the people and how friendly, how warm they are, how they accepted us like we were family. I mean, it's the first time we've been there.
Well, there were locals coming into the tap room, sitting down, having lunch and everything, and it's just like a family. We didn't feel rushed or like some kind of a tour where we got other people coming in 10 minutes later. We got to get you guys out. It was just very relaxing.
We can't thank Brother Basil enough for his help with us and taking us through and showing us the brewery. And
thank you. He was so friendly. So Charlie, this is the beer we've been talking about.
This is it.
I think it's time we show this to everybody.
Now, what this is the Country Monk Brewing Stout. Now, I hope everybody, we'll pull up a picture so you can see the label on this. Big Al, what do you think of the label?
When you're standing at the brewery, at the door of it, looking out, that's what you see. You see this big, like, castle-looking building. When they started this up, it's only been a year and they haven't really done that much with it yet. And we don't have a lot of information. We don't have the ingredients, really. We don't know the alcohol content. I think it's somewhere between 1 and 15%. Yeah. Somewhere in there. But anyway, let's crack this thing open.
Crack it up.
Check it out.
The thing I thought was impressive about this is their tops.
Look at that.
Me, sometimes I have difficulties with putting a beer down and picking it up and not getting it on
Being
me.
backwards?
Yeah, being backwards.
Can't make this one backwards.
This one, even I can't screw it up. Oh, you smell the aroma on that?
I know. As soon as you cracked it, it's like, whew.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's good stuff right there. That is so pleasant.
Man, what would you give that on pleasant scale? It's probably 2.
It is more pleasant than most. I mean, it's got some kind of fragrance going on there.
It's
nutty. It's not hoppy, but
it's
malty.
pleasant. It's not from the sweetness that we sometimes get, but it is. It just makes it smell full-bodied.
Nice. Yeah,
very nice. Let's try it.
Yeah. Oh man, see, that's good.
Oh my gosh, I have to say, that's as good as coming out of the tap.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah.
Now, one thing I thought was awesome is Brother Basil was telling us about. They've started actually growing their own hops.
Yeah, that was neat.
And what I also thought was cool is they're actually working with the University of Arkansas potentially to do test plots where they're going to grow multiple varieties of hops.
Yeah, that would make their beer that much more unique.
Right.
You can only get that flavor there.
Yeah. And I didn't realize through this whole process that, your beer flavor with the hops and everything actually is determined by the region it comes out of.
Yeah.
So if they can grow their own there, talk about bumping up your variety and
the soil and the climate changes the way it comes out.
And one thing, I don't know if we told them, at this point, you can only purchase their beer at the Brew Pub. Yeah, that's the only place.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah,
it'll be available.
Now they have told us that with the popularity and the locals and everything, they have increased their beer production, but they're also looking into on their 2,000 acres actually building a whole new brewery, a bigger, full-fledged brewery.
I thought it was interesting. They don't make the peanut brittle in the same place that they make the beer, so they don't have to worry about peanut allergies and stuff like that. I mean, it's just...
it's amazing, all the stuff that they have thought about and what they do. And the other thing that was cool that we hadn't mentioned is they have their own water supply system.
Yeah, that's true.
So they have an endless amount of water, which obviously takes a lot of water to make beer.
It does,
So more water, more beer.
Yeah. That is good.
Oh, it is good. And what's unique about it to me is for being a stout, to me a lot of stouts tend to have that bitter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this does not have it.
No, it's sweet. It's not...
But it's not overbearingly sweet.
No, but for a stout...
For a stout, it's sweet.
Probably a 101.
Yeah, probably 1 on sweetness.
Wow.
And what do you think? You want to tell them?
I mean, it doesn't happen that often.
No.
But I think this is a 5.
Yeah.
This is a great one.
I think on a scale of the stouts we've tried, this is definitely a 5.
Well, it has that uniqueness. That's obviously really good, but plus it's got that unique.
And that's what's good about it. It's for a stout. I think our community that doesn't typically like stout, if you'd get a hold of some of this, I think they would
you should try it. You might be missing out.
I mean, I think if anything's going to turn you to the dark side,
go to the Abbey.
Go to the Abbey and go to the dark side.
We mean that jokingly, of course.
Yes, obviously.
But yeah, this is fantastic stuff. It's really good.
It's been a while since we've actually had a truly full flavored, I think would appeal to everybody stout.
Yeah.
I really am impressed with it.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
Now one thing we haven't said is that Brother Basil isn't he's not going to brag to you, but we know they've won several awards already with their beers, and they're just getting started.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the exciting thing about it. We're looking forward to growing with them. We're looking forward to watching and see what happens over the next few years. But if you get a chance to go down to Subiaco, do it. Phenomenal place, phenomenal people.
Yeah.
And I thought this was great. Big Al, show 'em.
Yes, check this out.
Is that not awesome? Brewing great beer is just our habit.
They got a sense of humor.
They got a sense of humor.
They said they're the monkiest monks around, so that was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty cool. Well, Big Al,
Charlie?
here's to God, guns, and rock and roll.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes, that's good. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you had a good time, and thanks for joining us on the road trip. I think it was a really good time.
Oh, it was a great time.
So don't forget, I'm Big Al.
I'm Charlie.
Till next time.
Now, one thing I thought this is now for an American edition. Excuse me. One thing I thought was awesome is the one thing.
Yeah,
That's as bad as actually.
And actually. Wow.
You know what we just did? Our smell was a 2, our taste was a 1.
Not anymore.